Let me see. Got the chat on. Okay. Great. Done. Yes. My name is Queen Wiki, and we're going to be talking about AKAS DAO tonight, this afternoon. And let's get started. Let me share my screen. Okay, share. There we go. Great. Okay. Okay, great. So we're going to talk about AKAS DAO, a full chain resonance protocol. It is based on Olympus DAO model. Many of you guys are, if you're familiar with it. If not, Olympus DAO has been around for about 4 years. Had nothing to do with network marketing, affiliate marketing. They were simply a DeFi protocol that a lot of the OGs and old school crypto people were engaged with, the ones who knew DeFi before most people knew DeFi. And they had version 1 back then. And then about a year later, version 2. 2 years later, we had version 3. And if you look at AKAS and many other projects similar to AKAS, there are not many similar to AKAS, but you'll see some of them are still using version 1 or version 2. AKAS is using version 3, and they've improved upon the Olympus DAO model. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to make it very simple to talk about how to get started first and foremost. And it's really, really easy for people to come on board. When we're talking about AKAS, we're utilizing the Polygon blockchain. Polygon blockchain, don't let that be frightful of you. We got the Binance Smart Chain, you got Ethereum, those are all blockchains. So you just hook up that network, that blockchain in the wallet you have, go to the person who introduced you to AKAS, and they'll show you how easy it is to do that. And what you're going to do, you're going to buy your POL, which is the gas on the Polygon blockchain, just like Ethereum is the gas on the Ethereum blockchain, and BNB is the gas on the Binance Smart Chain. So what you're going to do, you're going to make sure you have a little bit of POL, you know, $20, $30, what have you. And you're going to have enough DAI, right, which is a stable coin you're going to buy from wherever you buy your crypto, on chain or on exchange or what have you, Binance, Coinbase. You're going to buy some DAI, you're going to put that in your wallet, and you're ready to rock and roll. Just have enough DAI to purchase the bond or the staking that you're interested in participating in. So once you've done that, if you choose to participate in the staking, you want to go to the swap. You want to swap the DAI that's in your wallet, and you're going to swap that for the AS token. That's the AKAS token. If you want to participate in the bonds, there's no need to swap because you'll be using DAI directly. Okay, so that is how you're going to get involved here. Okay, now let's go on and let's talk about how this works. Every 12 hours, and this is for the bonds as well as the staking. So every 12 hours, you're going to earn what we call rebates. Rebates is what some people call interest, okay? So every 12 hours, you're going to earn between 0.3% and 1%. 0.3% and 1% every 12 hours, like clockwork, okay? When you're participating in the bonds, you're basically buying the AS tokens at a discount. Gonna go into details on that. So we've got the treasury bonds, we got the liquidity bonds, and we've got the burn bonds. The liquidity bonds was the first bond that was launched. Burn bonds was launched probably about 8 days ago or so, and I tell you, people rushed in there like they were, you know, fighting over donuts or something, you know. The treasury bonds should be launching pretty soon, but all three of those operate the same way. You're going to get a discount on AS tokens, depending upon what the discount rate is at that particular time. Okay. Now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the bonds. You can actually buy a bond for 5 days, and the minimum for coming on board is $100. But I tell everyone, you know, you need to put a buffer there because price goes up, price goes down, and you want to make sure you're never below that $100. And you also want to make sure when I start talking about your ranking and when you're building the community, make sure that you don't lose your ranks because you don't have the qualified holdings. And you'll understand more as I go forward. If you choose a 5-day period for the bonds, so let's say you put your $1,000 in, you're going to actually earn 1,000 plus an additional 5% in AS tokens. So the bonds allow you to earn discount on your purchase of AS. 30 days, about a 10%, up to 10% discount. 90 days, up to 15% discount. 180 days, up to 25%. And 360 days, up to 35%. And you'll find that all in your back office when you click on bonds. Okay, you click on bonds and you'll see what the percentages are. And so be very careful, pay attention to details so you can know what you're buying. You don't want to, if the price of AS, let's say is $22. If the price of AS is $22, you don't want to buy it for $23, correct? Right, you're looking for a discount. And I believe you find the best discounts at the 180 days and the 360 days. But it changes, it varies. So make sure that you look at that on a particular time that you're willing to purchase. Okay, and in the bonds, you'll be earning 0.3% to 1%, 0.3% and 1% every 12 hours, released every 12 hours. Let's talk about the staking. It works similarly, except for you don't get a discount on the purchase of AS. Because what you're doing is you're staking, you have your AS, right? Remember? And you're staking your AS for more AS. Okay, so now we have two types of staking. One is flexible and one is long-term. Okay, and so with the flexible staking, you're going to get in, and if I'm not mistaken, you don't have to specify any date or time. You can get in and get out whenever you feel like it, where you can take your total principal, you can take all of your rebates, and you can take it out whenever you choose to do so. But you have a 24-hour grace period, so you can't put it in and then 22 hours later say, oops, I changed my mind, right? You got to wait 24 hours. But of course, 24 hours, you're not going to get any daily rebates bonus. 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, 360 days. Of course, the longer you're staking, the more you will earn, of course. And so these are like the boost. 0.04, 0.06, 0.09, 0.08, 0.09, and it goes larger for the longer you're staking. And these are just a little boost, a little extra, in addition to the 0.3% to 1% up to 1% every 12 hours. That's it in a nutshell. There's no complexity there. And if you do find any complexity, make sure you chat, ask a question in the box and chat. Okay. So here's a theoretical example. Okay. Because if you take nothing out at all, and so let's say, for example, you put in $1,000 or $10,000, and you just let it sit there every 12 hours, every day, a week, a month, or what have you, then what's going to happen is it's going to compound on its own. Compound is the seventh wonder of the world. Yeah, I keep telling folks that. Compound is the seventh wonder of the world. That's where the great wins are made. That's where the big wins are made. Okay, but this is decentralized finance. There's no one governing this, no person governing this, and you can do as you please whenever you want to. Okay, of course, I'm not your financial advisor, and everybody have different situations, different circumstances, and they're going to make their own decision as to when they're going to redeem, in stake, whether how many days and all of them, which ones they're going to actually put their money in. You can buy bonds, you can buy staking, you can buy flexi staking, you can come back the next day and do it again, buy more. You can have multiple stakes going on at once. In addition, you can have multiple bonds going on at once in your wallet. Okay. Now let's assume that the rebase yield is 0.6% every 12 hours. Okay. So there are two rebases a day. There's 24 hours in a day. The estimated monthly yield will be 42.58%. That's pretty darn good. Okay. Now, we are averaging about 0.43% or so. And what that means is when I did the math, that's about a 30% monthly yield, which is darn good as well. If you look at the estimated annual yield, just assuming that you don't take anything out, you just let it sit, 6,561.26%. We can go on and say, what if we're making 0.9%, which we haven't yet? Again, the average we're making is 0.43%. But if it's 0.9%, it gets even better, right? Your estimated monthly yield as well as your estimated annual yield will increase accordingly. And that is a huge difference, like a 10x difference between 0.6% and 0.9%. So these are theoretical estimates. Now, talk about the staking, the long-term staking. You choose 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, or 360 days. It's really, really up to you. So this particular example is assuming that we're getting 0.6% every 12 hours. 0.6% every 12 hours. And it's assuming that you have an initial stake of 1,000 AS. Okay. Right now, today, that'll be about $22,000. Okay. But of course, you can put in $100, you put in 1,000, you put in whatever you want. But assuming for the sake of this example that you're staking 1,000 AS, then at the end of 30 days, you're going to have 1,431.79 AS. Because that's what you're staking. You're staking AS, right? And let's assume that the valuation at the end of 30 days is $100. You would have made $143,178.84 on the $22,000 you spent on 1,000 AS. But let's be a little more realistic. Let's be a bit more realistic. Instead of 100, because I know in 30 days we won't be at $100. Let's assume it'll be $50. Then, of course, that would be about $72,000. Let's assume it's $25, right? That's about let's assume it's $25. Then you're talking about 143, that's 70, that's about $35,000 on a $22,000 cash outlay. That's only if you don't touch anything and just let it sit there for 30 days. Of course, we can't predict the price, okay? Because they're utilizing code to determine what the price is going to be. And it's dependent upon all of the things that are happening in our ecosystem, in the AKAS DAO ecosystem, right? What's in the treasury, what's in the liquidity pool, right? All of these things come into play to determine the price. RBS helps determine the price. What is that? Range-bound stabilization module. It's code. It's not a person. There are no people making these decisions like they do in the treasury offline. You got the treasury, U.S. Treasury, you got political stuff going on, and you've got, the president, all these things, right? You got the Reserve, Federal Reserve. Those are human beings. And sometimes they have ulterior motives, but it's just that they're human beings. What I like about AKAS DAO, and which makes it so attractive, is that no one actually makes any decisions. It's all done on chain. Okay. And so what I mean by that is when we talk about decentralized finance, DeFi, the mantra is what? Don't trust. Whatever anybody tell you, verify on chain. And all of this can be verified on chain. And I've definitely checked hours and hours and hours and hours and still checking today. Okay. So let's say 360 days, you decided to stake 1,000 AS and you don't take anything out. You just let it ride, go on a vacation, do whatever you're doing, right? That 1,000 AS will have turned into 74,224.3 AS. Wow. At a valuation of $100, that'll be $7.42 million. And you spent about $22,000 today. Well, let's say it's at $50. Then you're talking about 3.5, 3.7, about $3.7 million, right? And let's even say this $25, right? 3.7, divide that by 2. You got 3.5, 3.7 divided by 2, you got about 1 point something or the other. Over $1 million, okay? if you let it sit there for 360 days. But again, it's up to you. And all of my examples is making particular assumptions. Okay? Now that's it for those of you who want to just put some money in, put some of your tokens in here. I want to support the platform, but I also want a little yield going on every 12 hours, make the decision about my money, basically be passive. That's it in a nutshell. Bonds and staking. But for those of you who are interested in building a community, helping us build this community so it can grow and be exposed to as many people as possible all around the world, you're going to get a little extra, well, a lot of extra something. It's something we call the resonance reward. Okay, and this is quite interesting. If you have $100 or more, okay, and you only brought in one person or have only one wallet underneath you, you have unlocked one resonance reward level. And you're going to be earning 10% on their daily earnings every 12 hours. On their 12-hour earnings, you'll be earning 10%. But one of the things about it, not only on that person that you brought on board, but also on the person who brought you on board. Imagine that. And so if you have $300 at the very least, right, that you're holding in stakes and bonds or what have you, AS holdings, and you bring in 3 people, right, share this with 3 people, be excited about being a member of this wonderful DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, which means us, the people, we the people, you're going to unlock 3 levels up and 3 levels down. And you're going to get 3% on your 3rd level, 5% on those folks on your 2nd level, 10% on those folks on your front line. That is how it works. And so when I say 3 levels up and 3 levels down, these 3 people that you brought in, maybe they're doing some work and they're bringing in a few people here and there, you're going to be able to earn Resonance Award 3 levels down, 3 levels up. Your sponsor, your sponsor, your sponsor. But the caveat is on the upward resonance, okay? Let's say you have a sponsor who put in $1,000 and you only put in $800, right? You will only earn that percentage, right? The ratio up to your $800. So even if he have $1,000 or $10,000 or $1 million, you will only earn on what he would earn on $800, and you'll get your percentage off of that. But downward resonance, it doesn't matter. So you bring in John, Jane, and Judy, they bring in some folks or whatever. It doesn't matter that they have $100,000 that they put in or $1 million and you only have $800 in. Doesn't matter. You're going to earn on what they're earning, period. Every 12 hours, you're going to get your percentage. When you get all the way down to $1,000 or more that you have in AS holdings, and you brought in 10 or more folks on your front line personally, then you're unlocking 10 levels, reward levels. 10 up, isn't that wonderful? And 10 down in your team, okay? So you're going to be earning 1% on the people on the 10th level, 1% on the 9th level. From the 8th through the 4th level, you're going to be earning 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%, 3% on your 3rd level, 5% on your 2nd level, and 10% on everyone's earnings, daily earnings. That is awesome. Even by itself, we can just close the book. But let's continue. What else do you get if you choose this mission to build the DAO with us as a community? Okay? So here we go. Title rewards. What's that? Rank rewards. And they have 12 different ranks. Okay? V1. Initiate the awakener. Da-da-da-da. If you have $1,000 or more, 1,000 DAI worth of AS, personally staking, and 10 direct referrals on your front line. Remember, in order to rank, you have to have at least 10 folks on your front line. And $20,000 in your small area volume. What is a small area volume? Let's say you have 10 direct referrals, and everybody always has a runaway guy or gal. They're just going, they're jamming. They're your biggest leg. You're always going to earn on them and your smaller legs, no problem with that. But for the sake of determining your rank, your title rank, for the sake of determining that, they're going to throw away or push aside your largest leg. So now, 9 legs you have left. They're going to add up the volume on each of those 9 legs, right? And if it's $20,000, then you are V1, okay? Same thing with V2, except for you have to have $1,500 in DAI, and 10, of course, on your front line, and $60,000 on all of your smaller legs combined. Then you'll get that 25%. Okay. And then your V3, let's go $2,000 or more. You must have 10 folks or 10 wallets. Some people, what they're doing is they're putting in their own position at the top, a wallet at the top, and then they're opening up 10 or 5 or maybe 6 wallets and bringing people in or whatever, some combination, or maybe they're opening up 10 wallets and they're putting in, let's say, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 100, 100, 100, or whatever combination, so they can hit the numbers. We have people doing that as well. They're structuring their own money, and they're making money off of their own money. And they're getting that resonance reward up and down on their own money, right? And so that's quite an interesting strategy, right? And I use a combination of it, okay? And so you have $60,000 on your smallest legs, all combined, then you're able to earn 25%. The same with V3. But let's say, for example, that you're V1 and you've got another V1 underneath you. You're still going to be able to earn a reward rate. But let's say you're V1 and you have a V3 underneath you, a V2 underneath you. Then you're going to be, it's a differential unit level. So you guys are going to be sharing some of that rewards, right? And the same thing, you have a V3 underneath you in that one particular leg, and you're V1, that's when you get cut off totally. But don't sweat, there are other ways we can earn here. And that's only just one leg. It's not like you're getting cut off altogether, but you're getting cut off with the guys who are beating you to the ranks, which is okay because you've got other legs. You got 9 other legs, you know. So if you get some ranked in 3 legs, that's fine. You got 7 legs you're going to be jamming on, 2 legs, maybe you get partial, right? And this can happen all the way down to 12 levels, okay? All the way down to 12 levels. I think we have one V9. I don't know if he's a V10. I know he's a V9 in the company. And that's $15 million in his small area, right? $15 million. So he's doing pretty darn all right, okay? Let's see here. So that's it. And what those percentages are for is the title rewards, okay? So it is like you're earning, all of the title reward calculations are based on the total performance of all of your communities combined. The title reward is then calculated as a percentage of each of the rebates, whatever they're making. Everything is always based on what folks are making every 12 hours. It's not on what they're coming in with, because that math doesn't math very well. In addition to that, and this is what I was saying, even if you have one of your legs up there who's running away from you, you still get paid 2% on their title rewards. You still get paid 2% on their title rewards. So but you have to be ranked anywhere between V1 and V12. And every time anyone who's a V1 or V12 in your team, you are going to be earning 2%. 2% on all of those folks. This is like very, very lucrative. I like this comp plan here. Income tax, that's equivalent to withdrawal fees, okay? And so the income tax, again, withdrawal fees, you're not going to be paying any tax on your principal, right? So you bring in $10,000, you want to pull out your principal, pieces of your principal are coming out. You're getting interest coming out every 12 hours. A tiny piece of principal, interest coming out every 12 hours. If you choose to click on end stake for the staking one, that doesn't mean you're ending your stake. You can't end your stake if you say, I want a 180-day stake, and on day 20, no, you can't end your stake. You got to stay for 180 days. You're going to be earning every single day, every 12 hours. But In all cases, what's going to happen is some of your principal is coming out. They'll tell you how much it is. Some of your interest is coming out. If you click on in stake, you're taking out your principal. So now you're not staking 10,000 anymore. If you're taking out $5, now it's $10,000 less $5. So be careful with that. End in stake. The next box you'll see in the back office underneath the in stake one is rebase. You can click on claim. That's your interest. You can claim that. If you don't click on anything and just let it all sit there, you're going to be automatically compounding. So don't worry about it. There's no button there that says compound. You don't have to do anything. You won't see in the back office that your compounding amount. You won't see that at all. But you will see your original stake amount, and you'll also see the principal that's already come out, and you'll also see your rebase and your boost. If you add all that up, that's what's compounding. Yeah, that's what's compounding. I wish they would have had it on the side somewhere, but they don't. But it's not that difficult. We know how to do basic addition, okay? And so you're going to pay income tax on all of your bonuses, on your referrals, on your resonance, on your rank rewards, and you're going to be paying income tax on your rebates, even if you're passive, on your rebates, but not on your principal amount that you choose to in stake on. So let's say you want to get paid immediately. You want to pay, let's say you want to pay the lowest amount in income tax. That would be the 1%, but you got to wait 20 days, okay? And what that means is 20 days, let's say 100% divided by 20 is 5% a day. So you don't have to wait to the end of the 20 days before they release your withdrawals. On day one, they release 5%. Day two, 5 more percent. Day three, 5 more percent, all the way to day 20, 5% every day. You can go in there on the first day or the third day, and you could take that portion out, say, hey, you know, I want to take the 3 days out. I want it in my wallet. You can do that, okay? Or you can just wait the whole 20 days, whatever you choose to do, but you only pay 1% in income tax. If you want it in 5 days, very fast release, then you pay 15% income tax, right? And then you're going to get 20% a day. 20% on day one, 20% on day two, day three, day four, and your last 20% on day 5. Even though you can go in on day 1, day 2, day 3, whatever, and pull that out and say, I want to withdraw it, right? And so they're not holding on to it for the end of the 5 days. So what do they do with this income tax? What they do with the income tax, they'll take out 50% of it that we've all paid, right? They'll take, let's see, Money Lisa's raising her hand. I'm going to open that up. Money Lisa. Okay, where is she? Money Lisa, unmute.
Yes, good day. Good day, ma'am. Thank you for
Yes.
taking my call. I would like to know right now I initially put $100 for 180 days, and it went.
400 and what?
Are you hearing
Say
me?
it again. Yeah, but I didn't hear that. You talk fast.
I $100 for initially for 180 days. It went down. So can I put some more now to bring it back up, or is that an error?
Yes. Yes, and this is what I keep telling people. I says, if you want to come in for $100, you better come in for 130, because the price is going to fluctuate. And so what you can do is you can simply buy another stake. You can buy another, there's no top up, but you can buy another stake. And you probably want to consider.
Okay, well, I probably may not have enough to buy another stake, but could I put like $15 now to top it up?
No, there's no top up.
Okay, so what to do? Buy another stake, which
Yeah.
is $100, another $100.
But don't put 100 in, because the price could go down a little more, and then you'll be in the same bind. And so what you want to do is, again, you know, you want to make sure you have like $130, you know, something like that, to give you a buffer for the price fluctuation. You follow
Okay.
me? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies to ranks. You can lose your rank. I remember when the price went down to 19.76 because some people panicked and some other things were going on. But I was busy running around doing webinars and all of this. I didn't realize for 2 days that I lost 3 ranks.
Oh,
So I lost 3 ranks. And part of the reason, because you know, when you have, like, if you look at the ranks, let me go back up here and show you. Let me go back up here and I'll show you. You see the ranks here? So in order to be a V4, for example, you got to have $3,000 in staking. So if you have exactly $3,000 and the price goes down, you may have $2,950. You lost your V4 rank. You lost your V4 rank. So we need to always keep an eye on what we're personally staking. And the best way to do that from the beginning, better safe than sorry, is to actually, you know, put in a little bit more, a little bit extra
yeah.
staking. Yeah,
I
because the
didn't
price,
have more.
huh? Huh?
I didn't have more to put, at the time. But what would happen? What would happen, or what is to be expected from this
What
now?
is going to happen is you stop earning even passively. So in order to earn your stakes, or even in the bonds, you got to have at least $100. You got to have at least $100 worth of AS holdings. So if the price of AS dips a little and you got $99, you're inactive until the price goes back up.
Okay. So
That's
that
yeah,
that's the only hope.
yeah. The other hope is we got to be smart about this. You know, we got to be smart about our money.
Well,
Um,
it already happened, so I can't undo what was done.
no,
So
I
yeah,
know, I get it, girl. I get it. I got
yeah.
smacked. I lost three ranks for 2 days because I wasn't looking. But that's okay. Then I started looking and I started rearranging things and I'm contacting my team because a lot of them didn't know.
So
And
if
so
I
they
put
didn't.
$130 now, would that make a difference for the 94 that is there, or no?
I'm not sure of that. I'm going to tell you to test it.
Well, I don't have $130 now anyway. I just wanted to
Okay,
know what.
well,
Yeah.
well, you just have, if you don't have it, you just have to wait till the price increase. But meanwhile, you're not earning. Okay.
Morning, Wiki.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. We all learn this stuff, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know either, but you know, I smiled at it and kept going. Here's Canaries.
It's
Okay.
not gonna stop me. I am going still.
Let me put Canaries. I thought I made you co-host,
Thank you
girlfriend.
so much.
You're so welcome. I know. Let me see, because she probably has the answer. I'm making you co-host, Canaries, and go on, Canaries.
Okay. Yeah, so actually you can just stake $15. She doesn't have to do a whole new $100+ stake because I tested it out
Okay.
and I actually have a bond that's only $2 and it's getting the bonus, it's getting the rebase. So
And the first one is consider your holdings. It's still consider your holdings. And so since you've got the holdings are equal to 100 or more combined, and now she can still earn her passive rewards.
Right. So she was saying that she wanted to add like $15. She can literally do a $15 bond or a stake. She can put it in flexible, long term, whatever she
Okay.
wants. So she doesn't have to put a whole new $100 in.
Okay.
So I just
But
wanted
what I'm
to.
asking is, will that
Mhm.
$99 one, it'll earn, or they're going by the combined?
Oh
They're
yes,
going by
they're
the
going by the
combined.
combined. Yes,
Rock and
ma'am.
roll. There's
Yeah.
your answer, girlfriend.
So
You're
so
safe.
even if you just need $2 to put it over that 100, you can do it. You can do a stake, a
Okay.
bond, whatever. I tried it out and
Thank
it's
you.
working.
Yeah, she
Canaries,
tries
I'm going
everything
to
out.
connect with you.
Yeah, Canary tries everything out. She always has the answer. She
I'm
will
going
look
to
and
connect with
see
you, Miss
everything.
Canaries. Remember
Yeah,
this
Okay.
yeah.
name, Money Lisa. I will connect with you, darling. Thank
Okay,
you so
yes,
Money
much.
ma'am.
Lisa.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
All right.
And thank you very much for that, because I do get that question. I'm like, I didn't test that. And I'm like, I don't want to test it.
Yeah, I literally have a $2 bond and it's dripping just a little bit at a time. It doesn't
Yeah.
allow you to claim until it gets to like 0.01, but it's still doing
Oh,
its thing. So yeah, as little
okay.
as you have, you can do it.
But
But
at least
continue.
you're
I don't.
earning on the
Yes,
original one.
absolutely. Yes.
Rock and roll. That's
All
good
right.
news.
Yes,
That's good
ma'am.
news. Okay. She's like, Queen, Queen. And and that's the way you can top up. You can buy another stake or buy a bond. And just what she's saying, you can even put in $2 or $15. That's good to know. That's good to know with people in your situation. Okay, so I talked about the income tax. Oh, so I talked about the income tax, which is your withdrawal fee on everything except for principal. Okay, and what they do with the income tax that they accumulate, they put 50% in a bucket and they call it the rebate reward. And they distribute that 50% to the backbone of the community, to the backbone of the DAO. The decentralized autonomous organization is the community, that is us. And it's for those folks who see the light and says, I'm going to start sharing this with people. And I'm going to rank too. So the V1s through the V4s, they're the backbone, right, of our ecosystem. And they're the ones that's going to get value every 2 weeks, every 15 days, every 15 days. Yeah, I did get mine as well. And every 15 days, you're going to get the V1s will get 40% of that 50% bucket. The V2s will get 30% of that 50% bucket. The V3s will get 20% of that bucket. And the V4 will get 10% of that 50% of the income tax bucket. And every 15 days, you're going to receive that. Okay? And some will ask me, why not the V5 and the V6 and the V8 and V12? Because they're rich. They don't need anymore. The backbone is where everybody's going to be, which is typically V1s and V2s, V3s, and V4s. Okay. And it's like a thank you for taking the effort, making the effort to build the community that we have here today and in the future. Okay. Now we have something else. We call it the service award. What is that? You will notice that when I'm talking about our earnings, the percentages, and all of these things, it's not like when John comes in, you bring John in, John puts $10,000 in the bucket, right? He wants to stake $10,000, right? And then what happens is you, because you brought him in these typical systems, you will get 10% of his 10,000. So that's 1,000. Your sponsor will get 9%. Your sponsor get 8%. Your sponsor 7%, and all this stuff going on, right? So now the $10,000 that John wanted to stake, its value is only $4,000. But the platform still says, well, John, you're going to be earning on $10,000 staking every day, 1% a day. Wait, the math doesn't math because you gave away 60% of his $10,000. He only had 4,000 left, but he's staking on $10,000. That is not sustainable. So here, when I'm talking about percentages in AKAS DAO in our community, you're earning all of these percentages on what? The daily earnings. Every 12 hours, ching, 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 ching on the daily earnings, not on what he puts in, with the exception of the service award. Here's how that goes. Let's say you bring in John. Okay. Well, first of all, let's talk about the criteria for getting this service award. First, you got to be ranked V1 to V12. That's the first one. Okay. And secondly, you got to have 180 to at least 180 days stake or bond. So 180 or 360 days. Okay. If you got that taken care of, you got to make sure that John has 180 and a 360 days stake. Follow me? Okay. And not everybody's going to do this. And we get it. That's why it's special. And you also have to make sure, again, both of you have to have 180 days or 360 days, something going on, stakes or bonds. In addition to that, John must come in with the DAI in his wallet. Okay, that's a stable coin, DAI, D-A-I, on the Polygon blockchain, have the DAI in his wallet. He goes into the back office, he clicks on swap, and he swaps his DAI for AS tokens in order to stake, right? Now, you're like, well, of course, everybody's going to do that. No, there are people, what they're doing is they've got some guy who says he wants to get in. He wants to get in now. I don't know about this crypto stuff. I don't have a wallet. I don't know what to do. You show him how to get a wallet. And then you say, well, I'm not going to show him how to go to the exchange. I'm not going to do all of that. Let's get him in now. Hey, John, I've got $10,000 worth of AS in my wallet. Let me send it to you. And you send me USDT or Bitcoin or whatever. So now John has all of this AS in his wallet. John logs in and he goes directly to staking his AS. If he does that, you are not eligible for this 5% award. So you got to make sure that you teach, and this is what we do, teach them how to get the DAI on the Polygon blockchain. You got to do this if you want that 5% award. And I say that we should do that with any project we're involved with. You don't want to go around handling people's money. That's number one. You don't want to handle people's money. That's number one. And doing exchanges and all that kind of craziness. Number two, you want people to learn so they can become self-sufficient. So you teach them, you say, hey, I go to Coinbase, I go to Binance, I go to ABC, Bitmart, or Bybit, or whatever, and step them through that process. Coinbase, I hear, takes a century to approve KYC. I don't use them, so I don't know. Binance, I know it's not available in the United States, but if it is, it's Binance.us, which is very limited. I don't use them either. So wherever you use, just replicate that and show people what you're doing and how to get the crypto. There are some exchanges out there. There's some decentralized exchanges, but most time they have money in their bank account. So you got to go with the centralized exchanges. Don't get scammed. Don't do it in Telegram. Don't do it in social media. And so that's what you want to do. So again, to get the service award, you've got to be ranked. You got to have 180 days or 360 days stake a bond. He's got to have an 180 days, 360 day bond that he purchases, staking a bond. And you have to make sure he's got DAI in his wallet. He connect to the swap, connect to the DApp. He go to swap and he swap his DAI for AS, keeping the flow of the finances internally to our community. Okay, then you will get 5% on whatever he's doing, right? So if it's $10,000 worth, right? That's $500 for you. Got $100,000? Hey, that's $5,000 for you. Got $100? That's $5 for you. Okay? They go through that process. So with that said, I think that we've covered quite a bit. Let's talk about the core advantages and why am I excited, and many people are excited about AKAS. Okay, AKAS DAO. Because traditionally we get in these deals, they say, we'll give you 1% a day and blah, blah, blah. And we find out that the owners, the founders, the developers, and all their friends, their mama, their daddy, their children, family and friends, leaders, people who got in there, they got all of these tokens. And once we start jamming, the community starts building, what happens? We bring that price up, 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 up. What happens? They dump it on our heads because they got theirs for next to nothing or nothing, right? That's not fair. That's not fair. Another example is the liquidity. You go and you look and they say they've got so many $1 million in liquidity, but I'm looking, hey, it's not locked. I've been in deals like this before I learned. We wake up, all the liquidity is gone. Oh my God, the token is zero. And we're crying, we're upset, blah, blah, blah. They just ran off with our money. So, but you want to look in DEX tools or DEX screener or Ave.ai, and you scroll down, typically it's on the right-hand side, and they'll say liquidity, and you'll see a lock next to it. Click on it. They'll tell you how much it's locked. You don't want 20% locked. You want like 99, 98, 100% locked. But we've been in deals where the liquidity was locked, So they can't steal the liquidity, but we didn't look at the front door. That's the back door was locked. Front door wide open. And what's that? All of the tokens they have before they launch. And you can find out what they have before it launches, right? And so then they dump on you and steal the liquidity from the front door. So look at both. So a global fair launch is what we have here with AKAS. Nobody, not the founders, not the developers, not the marketing team, not any big wigs, no big, leaders. No one got a bag of tokens. And I mean, absolutely no one. And what they did was they sold nodes. They call them the LGNS distribution or the COC, which is co-creation. All of that means nodes. So all of us who were there prior to the launch and chose to buy a node, they said, okay, they didn't give us a bag of tokens. They gave us a node. They didn't give us a node for 30 days. They said, nah, you have faith in this platform? You want to be a first front runner or first mover? We're going to lock this baby for 360 days. You're okay with that? We had, yeah, because we believe in sustainability ourselves. So we got a 360-day stake. I mean, a node that stakes AS just like you do. And it is an LP node. So we're here supporting the foundation of the AKAS DAO platform. So that's how that worked. That's how it's supposed to work. Fair, fair, fair. Okay. So what they did was they sold $6 million worth of nodes. They could have just put it in their pocket. Bye, Felicia. They did not do that. Okay. They did not do that. So what they did was they burned it. So what do you mean burn? Well, they had this big hoopla out in, was it in Singapore, I believe? Was it in Singapore? Yeah. I believe it was in Singapore. We were out there and they had this big hoopla that they're burning the $6 million. And, we're sitting there, we're having dinner, we're drinking, we're dancing, the music was wonderful. And I can't see all the way up on the stage. And everybody got their camera. Woo, woo. Many of them don't know what it means to burn. I said, I don't care nothing about that. I'm just going to dance, talk to people, network. And then when I go to my hotel room, what do I say? Don't trust. Verify on chain. So I said, let me go see. Let me see. I verified on chain. Every blockchain on this planet that I know of, I'm not sure about Bitcoin, every other blockchain on this planet, they have burned wallets. And what are burned wallets? If somebody tells you, we have burn mechanism in our project, and this is going to take the supply off the market and woohoo, right? And you ask them what the burn wallet is, they will say 0xAEFD2. Nope, wrong. That's your mother's wallet. Stop playing. Because every burn wallet looks like this. 0x 000000000 or 0x 0000000 dead, DEAD. That's on Binance Smart Chain. It's on Ethereum, Arbitron, Sui, Polygon, Avalanche, any blockchain that you know that's out there that you're familiar, they have those burn wallets. What makes them so special? Nobody have the private keys to them. Only can put stuff in. Put it in there. Go on, be my guest. You'll never get it again. You'll never get it out. So don't even try it unless you want to test it and throw away some money. And so what they did was they took the $6 million and they paired it. DAI on one end, USDT on the DAI on one end, a cost token on the other end. Paired them, create a liquidity LP token. That's what they call them. That creates an LP token. Throw it away into the black hole with just a dead wallet. So they did that for all of the Genesis LP bonds that were sold. Those are nodes. 100% sent to a black hole, permanently destroyed, completely eliminating the possibility of liquidity withdrawal or price manipulation. So what they did was they gave us a solid foundational security guarantee for the long-term value resonance of AS. And I was like, whoa, you go. Deep binding of node consensus. That's I told you about the 360 days. They didn't give us a bag of tokens. They didn't give us a 30-day or 60-day, nope, 360 days. Everybody the same. And so when they did that burning, Of course, they have to add the liquidity in order for anything to happen. We need liquidity, right? And so some people are saying that they started at $1 to $2. No, they did not. No, they did not. It started around, had to been around $20. So when they opened the door on June 20th, you, no holders, them, everybody got it at the same price. Fair launch. Fair launch. Okay? So I talked already about the bonds and the flexible deposits and the staking. And I tell you, without liquidity, a market does not exist. For example, stock market. There's no money in there. Ain't no trading going on. Let's say Bitcoin. Let's say Ethereum. Let's say some new shit coin or meme coin that just lost. You're looking at the liquidity. $1,000. $1,000 liquidity. So if I make $10,000, if I make $300, I couldn't pull it out, right? Because of the formula. Now, I made $300, I couldn't pull it out. You don't have any liquidity. Can't start a project unless you got some money to put in that liquidity pool. Stop playing. That's the lifeblood of any market, not only of DeFi. Without liquidity, token is just air. If LPs can be withdrawn, liquidity can be drawn, your token can become worthless. So no more market making, no more liquidity provider, human beings. The system, everything is coded. And it does everything for us. See, guys, when the error calls for a new order, and these days we're in the new order. When the error calls for a new order, we can no longer wait passively. We choose to forge our own path. We choose to forge it with our own hands. And this is what we have with AKAS DAO. So I'm going to stop my share and open it up for questions. And if anyone have any questions, let's go, let's go. Hi, Queen, regarding the cost security and rug pull, etc. Oh gosh, let me see. You make me open this up because you wrote a lot. Let me see. Record arrangement. Queen, do you have a tutorial on Rabby? I need to learn how to fund it. I don't have enough gas or whatever I need to use the turbine. That has nothing to do with Rabby. That has something to do with you not having enough crypto. Because if you are trying to, it's not Rabby. You don't understand the process of the turbine and all of that. As a matter of fact, for a cost, I've got about 7 to 9 short videos, about a minute each. How to look at your rewards, how to claim your rewards, how to interact with turbine. All of that is in the Telegram group under the how-to section, or it's in the training section, one or the other. So let me answer this before I get to the other ones. So here's how it works, and I want you to pay attention. When you do a claim, you're going to choose your days. 5 days, you're going to choose 5 days, 30 days, 60, 90, 180, 360 days, right? Okay, fine. Now, it's all going to go into, you're going to click on DAI, and you're going to click on the last report. I always forget the incentive pool. That's where all your withdrawals go. Your claims goes there. And then you'll see an orange button by each one of those. And they'll tell you how much that you have that have already been released. What you have that's already been released, you can put that into the turbine by clicking on the orange turbine button. Okay? You probably, it looks like you've gotten that far already. Now, you go to dial on the menu and you click on turbine. And you go to turbine and it'll tell you how much AKAS or AS tokens you have that you can withdraw. This is the important part. If indeed you've got $100 worth of AS that you want to put into your wallet, take it out of turbine, put it into your wallet, $100, you must have $100 worth of DAI in your wallet. And you're like, shucks, I don't have 100. Okay, what do you have? If you have $50 to DAI, okay, just say, I just want to do $50 worth, right? But they speak in a cost. So you have to do that and they'll tell you exactly what it is. If you say max and it's $150, and when you convert it, they'll tell you it's $150, you don't have enough, right? Reduce it. Say, okay, instead of max, let me do half a max. What is that? If max is 3, if max is 4 AS, maybe I'll try 2 AS. So you try 2 AS, and they'll tell you how much that is in USD dollars. So it'll be DAI. You make sure that you have that much in DAI, not USDT, in DAI in your wallet. And here's how it works. You're like, why? Yeah, I said the same thing when I began. Because what they're going to do is they're going to take your DAI, they're going to swap it for AS. And you're like, but all they did was take my DAI and swap it for AS. That's not, they didn't pay me. They just took my, yes. When you go into your back office and you go to Turbine, guess what you're gonna see? You're gonna see a box. It's a countdown box. 60 minutes, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, 59 minutes, 58 seconds. You got 1 hour to wait. Come back in an hour, click on withdraw. There'll be a button right there by the countdown clock. When it gets to 0, click on withdraw, then they throw your AS, your rest of your AS in your wallet. So you, again, it looks like the problem you're having, and you say you're a beginner and you don't know what you're doing. Who brought you on board, Dorsey? They need to be holding your hand, and if they're not, then who brought them on board? But I'm here for you, and we have videos, and go to our Telegram group. Go to the Telegram group. Start asking questions. Don't be alone. Don't wait for a webinar. That's what the groups are for, interactivity. Somebody's going to answer you. Okay? Did I answer your question, Dorsey?
Yes,
Say yes,
ma'am,
say
you did. Thank you so much, Queen.
yes. Rock and roll.
And
Okay.
also, I was saying that I just need to know how to fund Rabbit, not Rabbit has anything to do with that.
I can help you
How
with
does
that.
fun rap? Yeah, Carrie, you answer that. I'll get to you, Tony, as well. Canaries.
Yes, I was
Canaries, you
just
say?
telling. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just telling L Dorsey, you can contact me. I do have a tutorial for Rabby because it was a lot of people trying to figure out how to migrate from MetaMask to Rabby. So I can help you with that. And then if you need help in the cost section with the turbine, I'll help you with that as well. You can connect with me on
Super.
Telegram.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And
You're
Thank
please,
welcome.
y'all.
guys, have your conversations in the group instead of privately, because I know a lot of people help each other privately, but we're going to be getting these questions the more we grow. And it would be great if we could see all of the, the ins and outs of what's going on here. And we have that in the group. Okay. Okay. So what else we got here? Somebody wrote, and then scroll this up. Let me see, who is this? Hi, Queen. This is Ashworth. Regarding AKAS security and rug pull, etc., the URL is just a shortcut to the AKAS blockchain. Wrong. There's no AKAS blockchain. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading what you wrote. But when we make assumptions and start saying things, let's make sure that we're correct about what we're saying. AKAS DAO is the AKAS token, the AS token is actually on the Polygon blockchain. It doesn't have its own blockchain, but I'm going to continue reading. Therefore, what if the owners, there are no owners, but this is a DAO. There's no owners. I talk about code a lot. As a matter of fact, I talk about it so much that I decided not to talk about it on this webinar, a lot about security and safety and all of that. I did a little bit of that, but let me continue with what you have here. You said, therefore, what if the owner shortcut domain? That's not a shortcut domain, honey. AKAS DAO is their domain. AKASDAO.com is their domain for their dApp. It is not a blockchain. Okay, you need to be asking me, is AKAS a blockchain? And I'll tell you, no. And then you ask, is it a short domain? Whatever that means. I would have said, no, it's a domain. And let me continue. This is how I analyze things, guys. Bear with me. And I'm not beating you up either, Ashworth. I'm just telling you, you're wrong about certain things, and I'm willing to teach. And so you said, regarding long-term sustainable, you said, what if the owners or that shortcut domain decided to close the shortcut? But you know what's interesting? You asked that question. It's very, very interesting you asked that question. Because number one, that can't happen. But the reason why it's interesting, they actually created a tool on the blockchain. It's called a proxy tools. If the dApp goes down and disappear, let's say the dApp, the front end, goes down and disappear off the face of the earth, guess what? The code still is there. They've got a tool where I don't even have to ever even log in, connect to AKAS DAO. They've got a video that shows us, it's in the Telegram group, that shows us how to swap, withdraw, buy bonds, everything directly from the contracts on the blockchain. Who does that? That's what they have. That's what they have. So that's kind of in parallel with what you were talking about in terms of security and that feel good thing, right? So, but no, it's not a subdomain. It's not a shortcut. They don't have a blockchain. Did I answer your question, Asworth? Regarding long-term and sustainability, how could we access our AKAS account if the shortcut goes offline? It's not a shortcut. I just told you how we can access it via the contracts. Those contracts aren't going anywhere. The keys have been relinquished. If the keys are relinquished and renounced, that code will be there forever. Can they take the liquidity? No, it's locked. Do they have loads and loads and loads of tokens to take the liquidity from the front door? No, they don't. So we can still continue to go on. I know a blockchain in particular called Pulse Chain. And we were talking about how no one could ever take down Pulse Chain. And it's so funny because the owner of Pulse Chain, the creator of Pulse Chain, was sued by the SEC. And it was a ridiculous suit because they sued the coins, they sued the blockchain, and they sued him. Like, how do you sue the coins? But he actually won that case. There's not many cases like Coinbase and XRP and many of the others have ever won the case. Most people settled with the SEC. This was like the first crypto, right, lawsuit from the SEC where the SEC hands down lost. Because I remember one thing the judge asked, you talking about jurisdiction, where does the blockchain live? They were like, but it was funny. But I digress in that regard. So what he has is all the people in the community, the Pulse Chain community, they have front ends that they built. They've got this that they built. They got all these things that they've built. So if you take down one front end, there's 20 more front end. We got a lot of software engineers and nerds like myself that do building on that blockchain. It doesn't matter, just the front end. But the back end is the smart contracts, is where we can get our money, we can stake still, we can bond. And if that would happen one day, I'll develop a front end for you. Okay, did I answer your question, Asworth? I certainly hope so. Okay, yes. So I'm gonna, Tony. Okay, Tony.
Hi, good afternoon. Just a question. With the problem with the
Yeah.
Polygon, are our rewards going to be put back in when they correct that?
I don't understand.
Well, right now, our rewards, like Polygon is having trouble right now, right?
Well, I don't know if they're still having trouble now. I know for sure that a few days ago, Polygon did an upgrade on their blockchain, and then immediately following that, they trashed it, right? It was slow, transactions weren't going through, but the last 2 days, it's been acting rather smoothly. Last night was a little slow, but it's fine. So when you say, are they going to put your rewards back?
Well, when I went in today, I couldn't log in at all. So I must, I tried to go through the staking option and all that.
What error did you get when you're trying to log in?
It just won't let me in at all.
I don't know what that means. You have to get an error or something. Something happened. What happened when you tried to log in? What happened? You couldn't access the website or what?
It just was kind of frozen.
Oh, so it was frozen and nothing happened. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Refresh, log out, clear your cache, refresh.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, typically that's the first thing I do.
Can you put down? Can you put the Telegram link on the chat for me?
Yeah, can somebody put that there? The Telegram, put that in chat.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem, Tony. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Sorry, can I jump in here, Queen,
Yes.
with Tony's issue? Even when I
Yes.
refreshed earlier, it didn't work. So what I did is I closed down the browser and then went back in and it was okay. So if you don't get results, Tony, just close the browser down as well. Thank
Oh, thank you.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you very much for that. Because I tell you, what I do is if anything ever happens on any website, I was just going to GoDaddy before. GoDaddy is the domain company, web hosting company. And I was going there right before this call. And they always send me a verification text message. But that site, the browser, Chrome on the desktop was stuck. And you know, when it gets stuck, you get the message pop-up box at the top that says, do you want to wait? Or, you know, whatever. I couldn't right click, I couldn't refresh, I couldn't do anything. So I just gave it up because I had a webinar to do. But the bottom line is sometimes you close down stuff, restart it. You don't need your hand up, canaries. You are, oh, yeah, you're co-host.
Sorry, that was from earlier. I just forgot to put it down.
Okay. Let me see if that's in the chat. Did somebody put that in the chat for him? There it is. There it is, Tony. It's in the chat. Click on it or copy it. I don't know if you can copy it, but click on it. And that is
And I
for the
did want
Telegram.
to just say one more thing in regards to our conversation earlier with Money Lisa. So I'm
Yes.
sure you've said this before, Queen Wiki, but when you go into AKAS and go into the main menu and go to DAO, when you click resonance pool, you'll be able to see your net value along with how much is worth based on the current price of the token. So
Yep.
no matter what wallet, because I have like 10, 11 wallets. So even if
Yep.
it's not your main wallet to where you need to see your referrals, you can still see how much you have in there and you will know exactly how much you need if you need to top up, which
Yep.
will be, of course, creating a new stake or a new bond.
Yep. And I think you can see that with any of the DAO reports. I use level. You use resonance. I use levels all the time. And so
You
it'll
said the
tell you.
levels one?
Yeah, I use levels. You know, if it's in resonance, great. But I always use levels. It's a habit. That's all. No real logic or reason, no rhyme or reason. But I just click on level report, a level pool, and then it'll tell me you have so much money. Your value of all of your holdings is X. Then you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Oh,
It'll
yeah, I
tell you
see
the
it.
dollar
Okay,
value.
yeah, I see it. I think
Yeah,
because I don't have like any real levels yet. I
yeah,
don't even like pay
okay.
attention to that one.
Yeah. So yeah, I go to my levels and it'll tell me. But yeah, you can go to
Okay.
any of those. Did that make sense to you, Money Lisa? Okay, rock and
I
roll.
saw it. I saw it in resonance, I think. That's where I saw
Okay,
the balance that I had, yes.
okay, great,
Thank
super.
you. Yeah.
Okay, so with that said, we're gonna sign off. And I'd like to say thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. Oh, yes. So we're gonna sign out. I got to do these videos. I am so far behind.
Thanks, Queen
Yeah.
Wiki.
Okay, bye guys.